Up YouTube? This is Kyle Graves with another episode of Kyle Graves Live. Nobody believed in us, but God did. This was said in unison after the victory by Colorado Saturday night. They beat TCU 45-42. Nobody. They both said it in unison. Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Nobody believed in us, but God did. This was more than a game for head coach Dion Sanders, Coach Prime. This was a statement to college football universe. He said it from his first press conference about 8 months ago when he was declared the head coach. He was hired, saying his first press conference saying, we're coming. He's putting the whole football world on blast, and he proved it yesterday afternoon, evening, beating TCU, the TCU who played in the national championship game last season. This was the first signature win for Dion Sanders, proving to the college football world that he's for real and he is indeed coming for that number one spot. Look out, Nick Saban. He's just not, doing those Geico Aflac commercials with you. He's coming to be Coach Prime. You know, how long will he stay at Colorado? I don't know, but if he keeps winning like this and keeps progressing, um, we'll find out next week when they play Nebraska at home. But this was more than just a win for Colorado. Um, this is why I love college football way more than the NFL. It's just way more electrifying and emotional. And Coach Prime at the end of the game saying, God is good, and then in unison at the end of the press conference between Travis and Shedeur saying, nobody believed in us but God did, and Shedeur saying that he was just at a historical black college last year, thinking that it was saying that people say the HBCs are subpar talent, but yet here he is on this stage as supposedly a more physical, more talented players at Colorado and TCU, but yet he just threw for his career high of 510 yards. And he didn't throw for that much at HBC. So basically, kind of hinting at saying that he had better competition and playing against HBC U teams. But this was Coach Prime, first signature win. He wins his first game on the road, 45-42 against TCU, who played in the national championship game last season. Coach Sanders said, I thank you, Jesus. I'm so proud of my loving son, Shedeur, who's the quarterback for Colorado. And he went on to say, that this victory was for all the hood, and I thank y'all. And Sanders, Coach Prime, was preaching that throughout the game we just needed one stop on defense. We just needed one stop, and they got more than that with interceptions, several interceptions and turnovers. And with Travis, he might have hurt himself, the guy in the middle there, who plays apparently offense and defense as well, and tremendous talent. He said we're going to put him put him in the hot tub on the plane to try to make sure he's not hurt. And Coach Prime went on to say that we told you we were coming, and I guess and we guess what? We keep receipts. So I mean, and then Coach Prime at the post conference at the end of the game in the locker room, he said that no one thought we were going to win here today. Y'all were supposed to be on the other side, interviewing TCU in their post game, victory. He's like, now what? Coach Prime said, now what? Do you believe now? And then he called out all of the journalists who that he had apparently read their articles, or he remembered what they had told him and what they had said or reported on Colorado and him, saying, that they're probably not going to do very well this season, and that Coach Prime's not for real. And Coach Prime remembered every single one of them, and he said, he's like, you don't believe, and it just goes back to what Shedeur and Travis said, that nobody believed in him. Nobody believed in Colorado, who only won one game last season. Colorado only won one game And then the first game of this season, they beat TCU, who played in the national championship game last season. It's incredible. Um, and both Shedeur and Travis, they said in unison at the same time, nobody believed in us, but God did. And that was just very powerful and moving. And the belief, the power of belief that you got a team who everybody thinks is a bunch of losers, but they believed in themselves. And not only that, but they believe in Coach Prime. They believe in Coach Prime, who put a sense of confidence in themselves. And he got them to play, and they made some mistakes. They, like I said, their defense is spotty. They let TCU score 42 points. But when TCU started to play with a sense of urgency, so did Colorado. They matched their urgency to win, and they responded each time. And Shedeur, who threw for 510 yards and 4 touchdowns, had the best game of his young career, and it was just simply amazing. Definitely by far the best game of this week 1 of this 2023 season. It's just awe-inspiring and electrifying, and it's just one of the many reasons why college football is just so much better than professional football, the NFL. You know, there's no games this hype in the NFL until the playoffs, but yet here we are, week 1 of college football, and this game is just a legendary first victory for Coach Prime. This is his first signature victory, and this was a long time coming for Dion Sanders. Not too many people in the football world, Colorado or HBCU at Jackson State, where he played last year. But Coach Prime has been involved in Shedeur, his son's football career, going back to high school. Like, he coached him in high school. He got the coaching job at the HBCU, Jackson State, and he coached him there. And then, he got the Colorado job, and just it's really unheard of what Dion Sanders has done. I've never heard of anything like this. Maybe something similar to I was going to compare him to Chad Morris, but Dion Sanders is a winner. I mean, Dion went from coaching his son's high school team, his first college team, at the HBCU, and then getting the Colorado Buffalo job, and then brings his son along. And he called out some of the journalists in the press conference post game after the victory that y'all didn't believe me, or y'all questioned me why I was bringing my son in to Colorado. They didn't think that he was talented enough to be the quarterback for a major Division I school, and yet they go on and beat TCU, the team who played in the national championship game last year, and beat them 45-42. And he throws for a career high in his young career. Just simply amazing. And Dion said that I thank Jesus, and I'm my loving son Shedeur, I'm so proud of him. And he's like, we told you we were coming, and guess what? We keep receipts. They interviewed Travis, the wide receiver. He said, we just believe, and we practice and continue to show the fans what we can do. Shedeur Sanders said, I'm practicing against the best corner in the world. He's talking about Travis there in the middle. And, that Travis makes him be a better quarterback because he has to make better throws. And nobody believed in us, but God did. And I was just at HBC last year, and then now I just threw for the most yards of my life. And then they interviewed number 3, a little wide receiver there, and he said, I'm blessed. I'm glad I came here. We can do this, and we will do this. And we can't wait until next week when Colorado plays Nebraska at home. And then Dion said, I tried to tell y'all, but none of y'all believed in me. Dion Sanders said in the post-game press conference that none of y'all believed in me, and it's like and then Dion went on to say, God worked it out. We told you we were coming, and that we're going to make you believe. And then Dion later went on to say that Coach Prime said, we want to do things that's never been done before. And then not only did he thank God, but then he also said that, that he was, as an African American coach, that he's also coaching 75% of his football team is African American. And he said that, we're going to go out here and win. And that he apparently made a statement against, well, not against, but he just made a statement saying that maybe the football culture did not want to see a bunch of African Americans winning, and that it made them feel uncomfortable. But yet he said, we're going to go out here and we're going to win. And you could just tell the emotion that Dion felt, and that this was more than just the first game victory for the season for him. That this was more than a game, and that he made a signature win, and he was very proud of his son, and that this was not just that this was a great recruiting speech too by Coach Prime, because if he's 75% of his team is African American, and he's thanking the hood, and he's saying this one's for all the hood. Well, this is going to look great come recruiting time this next season, because everyone in the football world across America watched this game, watched highlights of this game, the press conferences, and this is going to be great for Coach Prime moving forward in a recruiting aspect. And he said, "Do you believe now?" And then he called out the press conference. He remembered all the journalists. It was like, "Oh, you don't believe in us," but yet he remembered them, and he kept asking them. Saying that y'all weren't supposed to be here. Y'all supposed to be interviewing TCU when they beat us. But no, they shocked the world. No one thought that they could win. And going to play Nebraska at home in week 2, it's going to be an awesome game. And everybody's going to be watching. And Coach Prime has brought an electric atmosphere to college football. I mean, this is something that I've never seen. Except for maybe, Nick Saban going from, LSU to Miami and then back to Alabama. But this is something different. This is electrifying in a new way. And Dion Sanders is winning, and he's bringing his culture and his atmosphere and his style of play to the big time, to prime time, is heading to the big stage next week to Nebraska. And everybody's going to be watching that game, and looking forward to seeing what he can do. And he's already matched the victories, the victories that Colorado did last year. They only won one game last year, so he's already, everything else is just icing on the cake. And hopefully he can improve, and we'll see what the Colorado Buffaloes record will be at the end of the season. But he's already overachieved in week 1, and it's just everybody's excited for Coach Prime and for Colorado, and he's making people like me who aren't particularly Colorado fans, they're down in the SEC fans, tune in to Colorado games, and that's the type of exciting atmosphere and just the electrifying spirit that Dion Sanders brings, and just the power of people who believe in God, thanking Jesus, and getting them to give them a courageous spirit and a confidence to have them believe in themselves, and taking a bunch of players that last season people would call Colorado a bunch of losers who only won one game, and then you see the difference that a head coach can bring as far as bringing a new attitude and a new spirit and a new confidence, a new swagger to Colorado. It's just simply amazing. But all right, YouTube, please like and subscribe and share, comment and share, and I sure would appreciate it. Take it easy.